I wonder, said the bulletin board outside my first grade classroom. Tasked with completing the phrase, my fellow classmates and I wrote down our 7-year-old wonders. Many of my classmates wondered about heaven, grandparents they'd never met, or what it would be like to sit on a cloud. My wonder, however, was what was behind the employees-only door. That was a logical wonder. They don't allow first graders behind those doors, and I was always curious what was back there. I found nothing logical about sitting on a cloud because I knew I would simply fall through. This concrete, logical way of thinking was far different from my classmates. I started to realize this more often as I got older. When I was in middle school, I joined a local lacrosse team. I was so incredibly shy and was scared to speak to any of the other girls. In fact, I was so scared to speak to them that I never told any of them my real name is actually Andrea and not Andrea. Most of them would still call me Andrea if I were to see them today. In elementary school, everyone is your friend. When you get to middle school, though, social expectations increase a lot. I found myself not understanding how people could learn the social rules so effortlessly. It's not like they were written down anywhere. How did people know what to say or how to act? I had trouble making friends, I had a hard time understanding emotions, and I wonder situations became common. I always seemed to be thinking differently than everyone else, but my assumption was that everyone experienced this. From a fear of being labeled weird, I learned to copy my friends to hide the fact that I didn't understand them. I became a great actress, but nobody knew. I stopped participating in class and was very quiet. Questions I asked in class were coined Andrea questions because of their seemingly odd nature. I pushed away my thoughts as soon as they popped into my head. I told myself they were wrong, they were dumb, and they were irrelevant. I thought because it was only me, I was wrong. When I was 16, I was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. So there's a reason I'm like this? I went my whole life not knowing why I was so different, and this diagnosis pinpointed exactly. Who knew my sensitive hearing and analytical mind were related? It was great to know that other people, somewhere, experience what I do. After learning this, and with the help of some amazing people, I learned to love my brain. I now consider my autism a superpower. I can recognize patterns nobody would think to look for. I can sit for hours learning about something I really love. While there are still struggles, it is so liberating to not worry about what other people may think. The diagnosis is far more complex than what I have shared, but what is important to know is that just because you are different does not mean that you're wrong. Here's what I mean. If someone tells you to enter a house, you've got a few options. Most people would probably choose to enter through the front door. But what if you go in through the garage door? You still end up in the house. You accomplish the same goal, and neither way is wrong, despite what people may say. Also, if everyone always goes through the front door, you may never find the speaker in the garage you thought you left at the beach. Everyone is different in some way. I always ignored the different parts of myself in order to fit in. That's where I went wrong. I thought different meant bad. If nobody ever thought differently, where would we be? Every new idea came into this world because someone dared to be different. As cliche as it sounds, it's important to not be limited by your differences. Sometimes a different idea is exactly what people need. Thank you.